Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the recent WWE Smackdown broadcast, August 22, 2025, live from Dublin, Ireland. Our mission here isn't just, recapping matches. We want to peel back the layers, the character work, the surprisingly clever storytelling, and figure out the major implications this one event has. Think of it as your shortcut to really understanding what matters on this show.
Yeah, what's really striking is how much they packed into one live show. So many narratives, these crucial character shifts happening all at once. We'll be looking at everything from, those unexpected heel turns, the big verbal showdowns, and how it all connects, how it ripples through the larger WWE landscape. Sets the stage for what's next.
Exactly. And our main source for this is Jason Powell's live review over at ProWrestling.net. It's a great perspective, especially because this show had that kind of unique distribution. It was streamed live on Netflix internationally, but then aired on delay on the USA network. So different audiences saw it differently, which is interesting in itself. So let's jump right in. The segment everyone was talking about, Becky Lynch's homecoming, Dublin, the 3 Arena. Place was buzzing. Ring announcer Mark Nash introduces her, and Powell described it as a rowdy crowd pop. You immediately hear that Olay chant. Big time. Lynch comes out, soaks it in, and hits them with, "Look at us, lads, we're on the telly." Perfect line. She mentions it's the first ever WWE live broadcast from Dublin. Crowd goes nuts. You deserve a chance.
Absolutely. Pure adoration.
Right. And she even shared that personal story about seeing Randy Orton there years ago, making eye contact, saying it made her life just classic babyface stuff, connecting with her hometown.
It really was. And this is the fascinating part. How does a top star, especially in their hometown with that reaction, manage to flip them so effectively? Lynch just pulls off this masterclass in being a heel, tells him flat out, you don't deserve it. Even claims she petitioned to get the show canceled. I mean, wow, talk about gutsy.
Oh, completely. And you could just feel the air go out of the place, replaced by boos. Powell noted the shift was instant. Chants changed to, "We want Lyra." And then, the censored, "Shut the F up" chant. Pretty clear message there.
No mistaking that reaction.
And she didn't stop. Complained about lack of media coverage in Ireland, calls herself your hero, then boasts about her very hot American husband, just rubbing it in.
Powell really nailed it when he said this was much more fun than heels who lean into the cheers. It's true. This wasn't just turning heel, it was a statement. It sets this immediate confrontational tone for her and really for the whole women's division.
Yeah.
And right on cue.
Yep. Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion, comes out. Then Nia Jax. Then Jade Cargill. Brawl breaks out, and GM Nick Aldis makes it official. Impromptu tag match main event. Stratton and Jade versus Lynch and Jax. Boom. That segment alone. So much happened.
Laid so much groundwork, absolutely.
It really did. And that feeds right into the tag team scene, which honestly had some really interesting, maybe even confusing developments. Hints at where things might be going. So first tag match. Motor City Machine Guns, Shelley and Sabin against Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Stipulation was winners advance to a #1 contenders match for the tag titles. But what caught my ear, and Powell mentioned it too, was a "we want Miz" chant. Like seriously, for The Miz.
Right. That's unexpected. Maybe speaks to his entertainment factor now.
Could be. There was even a TNA chant during the match, for the Machine Guns history.
Yeah, acknowledging their past. But the finish. Miz tags himself in, Hayes is distracted, Miz pins Sabin. That's significant. Powell points this out as a recurring thing. These makeshift teams beating the true tag teams. And that makes you wonder, right? Is this a creative direction? Are they valuing established teams less, focusing more on these thrown-together pairings? It could be frustrating for fans of traditional tag wrestling, or maybe it's meant to shake things up.
That's a really sharp point about the creative direction. Then we had the second tag match, Street Profits Ford and Dawkins, with B-Fab versus JC Mateo and Tongaloa, with Solo Sikoa and Talatanga ringside. Winners face Miz and Hayes next week. So high stakes again. And this one just turned into chaos. Jimmy Uso runs in, attacks Talatanga, then Sami Zayn appears, hits Solo Sikoa with the hell of a kick.
That signature running boot in the corner always looks brutal.
Totally. And amidst all that confusion, the Profits get the win. Dawkins hits the sky high, Ford follows with the frog splash. Done.
So, okay, connecting the dots here. This sets up Street Profits versus Miz and Hayes next week for the title shot. Keeps that chase interesting. But maybe more importantly, it deepens that whole bloodline-adjacent saga, Jimmy, Sammy, Solo. That's getting really personal, especially with Solo's earlier comment about Jimmy naming his baby Solo. Oof. Chillin' stuff.
Definitely has a nasty edge to it all. Okay, moving away from factions for a second, let's talk about an upset, something that genuinely felt like it could shift things for Piper Niven. Charlotte Flair versus Piper Niven.
Yeah, and strangely, Niven's entrance wasn't even televised. Kind of weird.
Very odd. Undersells her a bit going in.
But she got the win. Chelsea Green raked Flair's eyes. Niven hits the Michinoku driver, that big driver move, and tins Charlotte Flair.
Huge moment. Powell called Niven criminally underrated. And, I think he's right. This win, even with his comment about her silly gear, it has to elevate her. It signals maybe WWE sees more in her. Plus, it gives Flair a reason for revenge, fuels that babyface run she's on, which the Dublin crowd was reportedly really into. So yeah, an upset, but it serves multiple purposes. Good point. And speaking of things the live crowd got, there were some unadvertised bits that sounded great. R-Truth showed up on screen thinking he was in Dublin, Georgia.
Yeah.
Classic Truth. Led to Damian Priest and Aleister Black just starting to brawl. Fun surprise.
Yeah, those little unadvertised moments can really pop a live crowd.
Then Drew McIntyre comes out, cuts this vicious promo on Cody Rhodes, calls him a little bitch, and says nobody backstage told him off for it. Really pushing that boundary.
He's leaning hard into that persona, isn't he? Trying to establish himself as uncontrollable.
Totally. And the immediate payoff. Randy Orton's music hits, crowd goes ballistic, Orton slides in, RKO out of nowhere on McIntyre. Perfect moment.
See, those segments, like Powell said, they delivered. Advanced Priest versus Black, sure. But crucially, it keeps McIntyre's obsessive pursuit of Cody front and center, and now Orton's involved. Maybe a triple threat down the line, or just Orton putting McIntyre in his place. Adds another layer to that whole title picture. Lots of potential challengers for Cody.
Definitely complicates things for the champ.
Yep.
Okay, but now, maybe the segment of the night. A true masterclass on the mic. John Cena versus Logan Paul. Powell really dug into this one. What was your first impression?
Well, my immediate reaction was how perfectly it framed that whole authenticity versus opportunism debate in wrestling. Is a classic theme. Cena comes out, let's go to work, the usual. But Logan Paul interrupts immediately. Goes straight for cheap heat. Insulting the Irish crowd, drunk, washed-up failures, little leprechauns, just really leaning into being obnoxious. Got the boos, the censor chants, exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, he knows exactly which buttons to push.
Right. Then he turns on Cena, calls him a professional pretender, an actor who knows how to wrestle. Paul's argument is basically, hey, I've been here 4 years, had great matches, when will you accept me? He paints Cena as this corporate punk who just follows orders while he does whatever he wants. Well, it's a viewpoint.
It is. And Cena's response at first was actually kind of clever, wasn't it? He didn't just dismiss him. He acknowledged Paul's presence, his athleticism, even called him a future WWE champion, a future WrestleMania main eventer, gave him his props almost disarmingly.
Exactly. It set up the contrast perfectly.
Because then came the turn. Cena calls him not an outsider, but a disappointment, a parasite. Ouch!
Yeah, that hit hard.
And Cena just unleashes, accuses Paul of using WWE just as a branding opportunity to buy another Pokemon card, knocks over his prime drink display, then contrasts Paul's 23 matches with his own 23 years of giving his heart and soul to WWE, including non-televised shows right there in Dublin, culminating in that killer line. Cena asks what he can give the business, while Paul only asks what he can take. That's the core difference he laid out.
That's precisely it. Powell highlighted that give versus take distinction, too. It's such a powerful wrestling narrative. It taps into what longtime fans value: dedication, respect for the business. It elevates their upcoming Clash in Paris match beyond just a fight. It makes it about legacy, about commitment, about the soul of WWE.
You're right.
Really effective stuff.
For sure. And the segment ends physically. Paul knocks Cena's hat off, shoves him. Cena responds immediately with the attitude adjustment. Big pop for that. And then later, backstage, we just see Drew McIntyre talking to Logan Paul, telling him to make things right against Cena, whatever it takes. Interesting little alliance possibly forming there. Two very different heels maybe finding common ground against Cena.
Yeah, that adds another wrinkle. McIntyre stirring the pot.
Okay, so that brings us to the main event. The tag match made earlier. WWE Women's Champ Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill versus the Women's Intercontinental Champ Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. Action-packed match. Stratton hit a big swanton to the floor. Looked like she might have come up a little short, but powered through it. And the crowd, they were serenading Lynch with some song. Commentary noted she probably wouldn't be happy when she looked at the lyrics later, adding to that heel heat.
Yeah, the crowd playing along with her turn.
But the finish really told the story. Lynch, fully embracing the new attitude, just walks out on Nia Jax, leaves her high and dry.
Cold-blooded.
Totally. Allows Jade to hit a powerbomb on Jax. Stratton follows with the prettiest moonsault ever, and then Jade seals it with a top rope splash for the pin.
Right. So the finish confirms that Lynch-Tax alliance was purely opportunistic, easily broken. Cements Lynch as the self-serving character now. It really drives home that idea of shifting alliances and self-interest in the division. And it gives Stratton and Cargill a major win together. Positions them strongly, like Powell noted. The feuding babyface team, well, now heel-face team going over, made sense given the setup. Boosts their stock.
Definitely. And the show wasn't quite over even then. That final cliffhanger. John Cena gets sucker punched by Logan Paul backstage, and right after that, Nick Aldis gets word.
Just heard from Brock Lesnar. Whoa, talk about ending with a bang.
Yeah, Lesnar's name drop always gets attention, leaves you wondering what that means.
So wrapping this all up, what does it all mean for you, the listener? We saw One Night in Dublin really deliver on character storytelling, right? Not just wins and losses. We saw alliances break, legacies get challenged, lines blurred between heroes and villains, all setting up future conflicts, title challenges. It's that ongoing narrative build. Absolutely. This deep dive really shows how wrestling, when it's firing on all cylinders, is this continuous, evolving story, constantly redefining itself. And this show, maybe more than some others recently, hammered home that fragility of trust, that relentless drive for individual glory. Kind of raises a question for you, doesn't it? How do these dramatic, sometimes kind of cynical moments on a weekly show change how you look at the big events, like Clash in Paris? When you see Cena and Lynch acting with these complex motives, does it make those championships feel even more important? Or maybe just harder to reach?
Exactly. Food for thought. We hope you feel a bit more informed, maybe even a little surprised by some of the layers we uncovered today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.